All right, hi guys. I'm Samantha Savoca, and I just wanted to thank Dana real quick for even letting me speak here today and just kind of share what I do with you guys. I, first of all, I'm really happy to be here just because during the pandemic, doing what I do, first of all, what I do is I make all of my own cannabis products. I do a lot around cannabis education, so a lot of people think, it's all THC or the stuff that makes you feel stoned or makes you a pothead or something like that. But really what I work with is hemp. And hemp is going to have a lot of health benefits. It has multiple different cannabinoids, which are going to be in your pamphlet if you have one. And I kind of want to go into what each cannabinoid can do for our bodies because we all have an endocannabinoid system. But first I want to get into, I do consultations for stress, anxiety, pain, anything autoimmune disease, sleep problems, things like that. But since the pandemic happened with COVID, and as soon as they started doing the vaccines, I always felt like this needed to be further discussed. And I never really had an outlet for that because in my line of business and working in cannabis, you get all kinds of people. And I will say that it's just really refreshing to have a group of people here to get together. Sorry about that. Here together with like-minded people. It's really nice. I've seen a lot of ailments happen from the vaccine in the line of business that I do. I've seen autoimmune disease, inflammatory disease heighten after getting the vaccine. I have seen people who are having bone deteriorate like in their hips and shoulders and different autoimmune diseases that are happening from it, where usually I can't really discuss this with a whole lot of people unless I have that client in there with me because we're talking about it, but this information isn't really out there loud enough in my opinion, and it's just nice to have people here that are interested in this kind of stuff like me. So it's not the popular opinion, but it is happening, and I think it's important. But what I do, I have a cannabis company. I make all of my own CBD products, and I like to help people heal from the root cause. So as they were talking about, not having that quick fix, not having that thing that, like taking vitamins is so good for our bodies, but we don't feel good enough in the mind to really stick with a regimen and really get them in there because we're human. We want to feel better now. So it is very important to feel good in the mind, to be able to do these regimens, to feel good in the body. So with CBD, it's actually working with, it's not even just CBD, if you actually have the pamphlet, if you open it up, I want to talk about our endocannabinoid system. We all have an endocannabinoid system, plants, animals, people. Now, in this system, it's our brain, our central nervous system, our immune system. Every organ and bone in our body is on this grid of receptors. And when we have deficiencies, we have inflammation, we have an autoimmune disease, we have old injuries. Inflammation is in all of us. We all have it. How do we decrease inflammation? Well, we can ice it, we can put heat to it, we can take long baths with Epsom salts, we can take turmeric, we can take, vitamins, but we're not set up in a world where we can take something every day for inflammation if it's a pharmaceutical. Aleve, ibuprofen, these things, they can be very harmful to our bodies. So what could we do every single day to, help with the mind and the body? Well, first we'll talk about CBD. CBD is an anti-inflammatory. It boosts the immune system, meaning that it activates the immune system when it's not working as it should. Maybe it's Lyme disease, maybe it's MS or fibromyalgia. All of these autoimmune disorders, it could be diabetes, causes high inflammation in the body, brain fog, it's where the immune system isn't working properly. So if we're set up on these receptors, we have nothing that is fueling our endocannabinoid system. So we're discovering when we actually take CBD, it actually activates the immune system, activates the receptors in the body to activate the immune system to work as it should. It's the same thing for mental health. With mental health, It could be bipolar, it could be depression, anxiety, stress, all of these things. We have chemical imbalance in the brain from drinking alcohol, from eating sugar, from eating and not exercising. I mean, we have so many things that we do to ourselves. We could be smoking cigarettes, whatever it is, but we have a lot of chemical imbalance in the brain. So when you take CBD, it's a natural antidepressant. It's not like a pharmaceutical that's supposed to numb the synapse receptors. It actually helps calm the mind and calm the central nervous system so that you can actually feel like the edge has been taken off. You feel more clarity, you feel relaxed. It's also why it works for tremors, and it works for people who have seizures and disruption in their central nervous system, because something is wrong in the central nervous system, not just the brain. So that's why it works so fast. It's an active substance. It's not something you have to wait, the 30 days and just kind of see what happens. Since it is an active substance and we all have an endocannabinoid system, these are cannabinoids. So CBD, anti-inflammatory, activate the immune system, good for stress, anxiety, and depression. In some of my products, you also get something called CBG. CBG is a muscle and nerve relaxer. It works really well for nerve pain. It replaces things like gabapentin and people who have neuropathy and nerve pain and things like that. So it actually reduces the inflammation around the nerve and relaxes the nerve. This also works for like back pain, knee pain, things like that without a psychoactive effect. And then there's something else inside of the products called CBC. It's a pain reliever. It actually replaces opioids. It numbs pain, or Tylenol or Advil or something like that. So this would be something that more so does numb, but it's also an anti-inflammatory. And then the more spicy one, it does also have THC in it. If you guys are familiar with what THC is, it is a psychoactive component to cannabis, but in small amounts, it's just a pain reliever. It doesn't make you feel weird, high, or anything like that. It just relieves pain. It numbs pain. And when I say pain, I mean emotional pain and physical pain. So if you are someone without any physical pain, but you have a lot of trauma, emotional pain, PTSD from wherever it comes from, this can really help with, kind of like what a traditional pharmaceutical would do, an antidepressant, it numbs. That's what the CBC and the THC can do. So in small amounts, it's very beneficial. It's very medicinal without the addictive side of things, like pain pills. When someone is needing pain management and they're tired of doing the traditional way, sometimes they go and get their medical card and start, smoking pot and eating edibles. But that would be more the pain side. Yes, THC does medicate you. It does give you an altered state, but you get used to that feeling. It's good medicine for those people, and they actually don't feel high. They just feel better. When it comes to CBD, it's more anti-inflammatory, boosts the immune system, good for autoimmune disease across the board. All autoimmune disorders are inflammation, brain fog from the inflammation, stress and anxiety and all these things. And then also sleep disorders. It's so good for sleep disorders because that calming effect right before you go to bed at night, if you are someone who has trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, it does work that first night as long as you take it as recommended. It is very calming, relaxing. It's instant effect because it's made for our bodies. Women actually produce CBD in breast milk. So why is that important? When a baby is, I think it's the first 6 months, it's so important for us to get those essential vitamins. If we start looking at hemp and cannabis and cannabinoids as more of vitamins and medicine that God made, then we stop looking at it as, just this plant that gets you stoned and then it's just not good medicine for you. So I'm just a big proponent of cannabis education, helping people heal from the inside out in a natural way. Vitamins are also so important. Diet is so important. But when I have a client with me, I'm always saying you have to feel good here first to want to do the things to feel better. So once you start with the first step, it's all easy from there. But we do look for those quick fixes. And I will say that for CBD, I will say that, or just hemp in general, you do get a quick you get it immediately, especially with proper dosage. It's so important to know how to take it, how much to take to manage your pain, your stress, your anxiety, how to boost the immune system. So consultations are so important. So if anybody wants to ask me any questions about it, if you guys are going through anything, if you have any family members, my table is right over here. I have some products with me, so I'd be happy to talk about it. So yeah, thank you.